What's going on, guys? Braxton and the guys. We're episode 3, Basement Sports Talk podcast. Today we're obviously talking the draft. Draft's ongoing as we're recording this right now. Miami just picked up Tua, which I know for myself, I thought he was going to fall, but he didn't slip. Justin Hurts still on the board. Chris, I'll start with you. What's your takes on Joe Burrow going first and not Ahmad Wagner?
Yeah. First of all, I probably need to readdress my Kentucky draft picks. We're probably up to 5 now. Cash will be going in the 7th round as well. But no, I think so far, Braxton, it's gone chalk pretty well. Maybe a little bit of surprise at 4. I thought Wills from Alabama, the Kentucky boy, would have gone at 4 to the Giants. But I think everything else is pretty chalk.
I agree. Damien, what's your take?
Like I said, pretty much chalk. Everybody knew that the Giants were going to eventually go for an offensive lineman. I personally was hoping to be the Wills kid just because top 4 picks elite. I don't really care for the Giants. Local kid being top 5 pick would have been phenomenal. But I'm just glad that the Bengals did the right thing and took Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I agree. I think everyone had that locked in. Todd, what are you thinking? Was it Tua selection? Did that surprise you at all? I know they showed on the TV all of his injuries. He's had multiple injuries to different parts of his body. Does that pick surprise you?
No, man, that pick doesn't surprise me at all there. I figured Tua would be heading there. And it's a great asset for the Dolphins, man. It should be a good pick for him there.
I'm sure they hope so. Like I said on the last podcast that, after losing, Tannehill was supposed to be the future, and he goes away – perform somewhere else, and they're hurt, and they couldn't mess this draft up. Dad, I was listening to Stephen A today, and Stephen A is trying to figure out if the Cowboys are going to get them a franchise quarterback in this draft.
After we got off last night, I was doing some reading. Nothing surprised me. If I see the Cowboys move up, it's going to be to take a quarterback. They take a quarterback in this year's draft. That means they'll put the franchise tag on Dak, and then I think they'll move on from him.
Who do you think they'll try to go after, Chris?
It's going to – the Chargers pick, I don't know if it's finalized yet. You would think somebody like Justin Herbert, it's going to have to be somebody with some credibility. Honestly, though, it looks like the Chargers just took Herbert, so – unless they work out a trade with the Chargers. Maybe that was a ploy to get Dak back to the bargaining table. Who knows?
Right. But, I think Herbert will be good for the Cowboys, in my opinion. I'm not a Cowboys fan by any means, but I think that'd be a good pickup for them.
Do you know what's Dak's contract right now? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't. I don't. Honestly.
He's not getting paid. I don't know the length of his. I know he's not getting paid. I know he's not happy about that. But you're not going to pay a guy. I think that speaks a lot that he hasn't gotten paid yet after he's been there.
Well, they had a lot of other deficiencies to look at. When you got Amari Cooper as a free agent, they had Cobb as a free agent, lost him to the Texans. So they had a lot of other holes to fill on the defensive end as well. Just like we talked about last night, his price tag, is what he's asking is astronomical. We went back and forth last night about where we ranked him in the NFL. Well, I will be honest to say that there's no way what he was asking is where, his asking price was, highest paid, if I'm not mistaken, or top 2 or 3, and he's not there. So,
the thing about Justin Herbert, I think, I guess from my point of view, playing in the Pac-12, he's not going to get the recognition that a Tua or a Joe Burrow is going to get. But I think that I thought that loss to Auburn to start the season, that really, make him look bad going on. But apparently that didn't affect him too much, getting drafted 6 by L.A. Carolina's up next. What direction do you think they're going to go, Damien?
I think they got to replace. They got a few holes in their defense. They're going to replace. They lost their linebacker Kuechly. So there's a few options out there. I definitely think they're going defense.
Who's quarterback in Carolina right now?
No, they don't really. I mean, no, as far as I know, they don't have like a locked in one right now. Since
Yeah, I think the mock draft had him. Who was it? Isaiah
Simmons.
Simmons, a kid from who I think honestly is the second, like we talked about last night. I think he's the second best player in the draft overall.
Behind who?
Behind Chase Young, I think. Yeah.
Harry Bridgewater in Carolina.
What's that?
Harry Bridgewater's in Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Really?
That's right. Yeah, he went. They let the Saints went to Carolina as a starter.
Yep.
Which I mean, he did a good job though filling in, for Drew Brees. So it might be a good fit for him.
You think that's a lateral move away from Cam Newton, or do you think they need something fresh?
I think personally, it's. I mean, you don't know because I mean he is unproven as a full year starter, but I think Cam Newton's act was running a little thin there too.
I know. I'm watching Justin Herbert's highlights right now. He looks a lot like obviously Mariota played at Oregon, but just that run pass option. And I don't know. I feel like in the NFL, you're seeing, with the exception, you got Lamar Jackson, but I still think that the most successful quarterbacks right now are your traditional stay in the pocket, make a pass type of quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see how he fits in LA. Arizona's on the clock now. So, Ty, going to you. Do you expect Joe Burrow to be able to lead the Bengals to a 500 season off the rip, or do you think it's going to take some time?
Man, Burrow he's really impressive. I'm not sure if he has the right weapons or, to do that right here, right off the start, but it would really made me really happy coming since I'm a Bengals fan. But, I want him to win all possible here. But I think, honestly, man, 3 years, I think he should be, top dog up there. I think we'll be all about Joe Burrow, man. I really do. Really excited and great pick for him.
All right, Damien, Cincinnati, they got a quarterback now. What do you think the other missing piece, if they could fill another missing piece in this draft or just in general in offseason, what else do they need?
They still need offensive line help. But I think the bigger need at this point is probably a wide receiver, just because planning for the future. AJ Green looks like he's leaving Cincinnati. Tyler Boyd cannot be a number one overall. And they with the first pick last year, first round pick, they took an offensive lineman out of Alabama. The kid got hurt preseason. He should come back healthy, so they can plug that guy in pretty solid.
So. Last night, Dan, you said 6-10. Is that the ceiling for Cincinnati, or what do you think?
Actually, I pulled up their schedule today, and I'm gonna go with Ty. 8-8's legit possible this year.
So Justin Herbert is a +6 in the win column for
Joe Burrow.
That's what Joe Burrow. I'm sorry.
Very possible. I mean, like I said, the offensive line's coming back. They got AJ Green coming back. Hopefully, he'll be healthy all year. They've got to get Joe Mixon back in camp. He's holding out, but they've made a few good signings, and their schedule's not as daunting as I thought it was. Honestly, I looked at it today. The road games are Miami, at Washington Redskins, at Houston Texans, which I fully expect to take a step back. They got the Jags at home. Titans, Dallas, and the Giants at home. Those are some winnable games. Not all of them. I get that. I don't expect them to beat Dallas necessarily, but we'll see. I mean, anything's possible in the jungle.
Yeah.
Well, we got some time right now. We're still in Carolina to announce their pick. How about after we got done recording last night, the news of Matt Harms coming out, BYU. I think, we got to go get another body, but what do you think goes through a kid's head that he wants to go showcase his NBA talent at a school like BYU from Purdue? What do you think about that, Damien?
Did you see his actual quote on his press conference by any chance, guys?
The one about Mark Hope sold him on it, about how he was in the NBA?
Yeah, how he played that position in the NBA. He stuck around longer than he probably should have, and he can teach him to do the same thing.
Yeah.
That's fine for a coach to sell the guy on that, but for the kid to be a grad student, basically, and not realize what Cal and the big men from UK has done in the NBA. I don't know. I don't get it.
You know, man, with no disrespect to the other teams whatsoever, you know, especially BYU. I know I like Coach Pope and everything. But as far as, like, you know, not saying because I'm a Kentucky fan, but those three schools, you know, I'm going Kentucky, man. Now, I mean, out of those three schools, you know, he's obviously, you know, we get the most players in the NBA. You know, we got good NBA record as far as that, and that's obviously what he said he wanted. You know, I just feel like more people is going to be watching the Cats than they're going to be watching BYU Cougars.
What's BYU in Mountain? What, Mountain West, Big Mountain?
They're in the same conference as Gonzaga, so
they're in with Gonzaga, and they are expected to be good next year. I mean, they're going to be preseason top 15 before the Harms kid signs. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, Cal has many more connections, obviously, than Mark Pope does in the NBA. Cal's got kids drafted that probably maybe shouldn't have been drafted, but he's got connections. He gives the kids a chance to succeed by any means.
I agree.
You know, you almost got to think, honestly, the kid going from Purdue, Matt Painter's not a bad coach. You know, even though he looks like Shane McMahon, he's not a bad coach. So I don't understand the move from Purdue in a Big Ten conference who, you know, last year they might have been the best basketball conference in the land. You know, one of them. So I don't understand.
Bottom, probably.
Yeah, I don't understand the move from there to BYU. You could sell me on the Purdue to move to Arizona, Kentucky, even Gonzaga. And like I said, BYU is going to make the tournament this year. But I don't know. I think there were some whispers of not being such a great teammate. So maybe that's why, you know, he kind of went a different route than a lot of people thought he would.
And, you know, I'm not sure that he would have actually been what you would call a superstar here in Kentucky. You know, he might not even started, you know, I don't know about that. But as far as, like, we just need bodies. I mean, honestly, you know, we just really, really, really need bodies, big guys with potential. I mean, you can't teach height. I mean, you know, that helps out a whole lot.
It's like the Panthers just took Derek Brown out of Auburn, defensive tackle. That'd be the second defensive line guy taken. What's interesting about Joe, Chase Young, and Akuda, I saw Urban Meyer recruited all three of those guys.
Yeah.
And didn't win a single college football playoff game with them. Man, that's impressive. You know, you always think Nick Saban, but you got a guy, obviously Joe Burrow was successful at LSU. But when you recruit three guys, you're all top three draft picks, that's a crazy stat.
Yeah, and you know, the Derek Brown from Auburn, he's a difference maker. He's going to be a great defensive tackle. It's a big pickup.
That is big.
Yeah, I think had anybody else looking for defensive line help, he's top. You know, he went 7, but he's a top 5 type of player.
Damien, up there in Kentucky, you been wearing your mask like you should?
No, sir. Honestly, I have not worn a mask yet. But I will say my daughters do. My wife does if they go out. But I'm out every day. But no, I've not worn a mask. I don't judge those that do, but I have chosen not to, honestly.
I think David Gettleman probably mad at you for not wearing your mask right now inside your house.
Obviously, you saw that. That's why I was texting you guys. I was like, obviously, that's a ploy. It's a media thing. I mean, you're in your house supposedly by yourself, and you're wearing a mask. That's interesting.
That's I gotta get that.
Maybe he's got symptoms or something. I don't know.
What do you think the house is for, like, these GMs and these VPs, like, inside their house? Right now? I think they're having parties. You think they're by themselves? What are they doing besides sitting at their desk making phone calls? Is there anything going on in the house, y'all think?
No, I'm going to say they called Spectrum to get the high speed like internet they could get to make sure they didn't lose nothing, and that's all they probably did.
I did see where, like, every general manager of every NFL team does have an IT guy in their house. That was allowed by the NFL. But not speaking of general managers or any of those guys, but I did see Tua in the pre-show. He had 34 people in his house, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, Tua could have ran a scrimmage.
Did y'all see Coach O in the coach's office with 7 of his coaches all just hanging around each other?
I've seen that. That was awesome.
Wouldn't you pay money to be in like a coach's meeting with Coach O, like on a Friday before you're getting ready to play Alabama or something? Like, what's that meeting like? Can you imagine?
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
So,
you're speaking about the mask at the house. I saw there's Simmons is off the board to Arizona. That's a heck of a pick. I saw something on social media from another media member in Lexington, very high profile. His mom kind of mocking some of the drapery of the top picks family. Well, I don't understand that. Is that me just being over dramatic?
I think Joe Burrow is going to be able to afford new drapes and a new living room for his family, himself. I mean, he could probably donate Cincinnati houses in Cincinnati, how much money he's been making. So,
I'm totally with you, Chris. That's a terrible look, honestly.
Yeah,
it's petty. It's very petty.
And what was funny, you can look at it however you want to. Like, there was other houses that had issues, and it's true. I just didn't understand why we're going there. Like, I mean, if somebody came to my house and saw something, I mean, it's just each their own. I didn't think it was a good look from that individual, to be honest with you.
No, it's not. And what was annoying me, and I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong, but with Chase Young, they kept going back to after Joe Burrow gets drafted #1 overall, wins the Heisman, wins championship. After he gets picked, like, all right, now on to the best player in the draft. This is the best player in the draft coming up. Here's the best player in the draft after you just had the kid who just dominated college football and get picked #1. Okay, now let's move on to this defensive end, the best player in the draft. I think I don't like that.
I don't either, Brax, honestly.
I think you get caught up in you can look at who's going to be the most impactful to their team, but how are we going to sit here? I'm not the type of guy who's going to say he's the best player. He might be the best quarterback. How are we going to compare a quarterback and a DN, a tight end to a linebacker? That doesn't make any sense. You could probably say the importance to their team, but as far as like saying one's better than the other, that makes no sense to me.
I've been on record to say that I think Chase Young's the best player in draft. I just think it's because of, sometimes, well, majority of the time, these GMs are going to draft by need to their team. I'm just saying, I think athletically and everything else, if you were to line Chase Young against anybody else in the draft, he's the best overall. Maybe athlete's the best word. I don't know. I just think he's going to have the most, of course, franchise quarterbacks have a lot of impact. I just think overall, when you think football player, Chase Young is pretty darn good.
No, I'm not taking it.
Yeah, he is good. I just think every football player's dream is pretty much what Joe Burrow accomplished.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's accomplished a lot of good things, man.
And he's better drapes, though, apparently. So.
Yeah, that really aggravated me. I don't know. I don't know if I was a little salty about it. I don't know if I should have been, but I was.
Wouldn't you love to see like one of these flashes in their living room? Some kids just in sweatpants and a wife beater, just hanging out.
That's when Cash Daniels gets picked.
Yeah, Cash Daniels got a wife beater, sweatpants, and a bush.
Absolutely.
Y'all wait when Cash Daniels got his water bottles. He's gonna smack them together, coming out like Stone Cold.
Yeah.
What if they show Wagner and he still got his Iowa basketball jersey on?
You all gonna laugh. I can't wait when we're doing this in the 7th round, and he's gonna be catching balls from Tom Brady down at Tampa Bay or something.
Do y'all think that sorry, phone call here. Do y'all think that Cash Daniel, I know after the season ended, he's preparing for the NFL draft. Do you think that is laughable, or do you think at some point Cash had an NFL like a shot? I'll leave that open to any of you guys.
Go ahead, Chris.
I think coming in, he may have had NFL aspirations. I think he's slow. I think he's a little bit too slow, a little bit too small a stature. I think if you put his heart in somebody's team, like if you transplanted his heart and his care and his work ethic, he's would be an all-pro. I just think, Yeah, unfortunately, he don't have some of the physical tools needed. Do I think he would be like great on special teams or something like that? Yeah, there's no doubt. And you never know. I think honestly, he may get invited to a camp, as a free agent or something like that. Yeah, you just never know. But he didn't have some of the physical tools that needed it. His senior year didn't go as well as I think he wanted it to. He had some injuries.
Off the field issues too.
Yeah, had some off the field issues. So I think he's going to be successful whatever he decides to do because he has that type of persona. So I think I think he'll do great in whatever he does. I just don't know the NFL is where it's going to be.
On the bright side, he did tag out in Kentucky turkey season. I seen.
Well, that's positive.
That's all he cares about, to be honest with you. Cleveland's on the clock. Jacksonville kicks in.
Yeah, like you saying, Chris, you put Cash's heart, his work ethic, his care and stuff in, another athletic person, man. That's a perfect combo. I mean, there's nobody has a bigger heart, care for the team, his home. He works so hard and cares for his home state and plays, represents the jersey well. I really like that about him.
And he loves this state, and that's what I find most intriguing about him. There were times last year that I couldn't understand in certain situations why he was in the game just because of coverages and stuff like that. But, the guy played, in the SEC as a middle linebacker. So what can I say? But I'm just saying, like, I love the love he has for the state. There's no doubt about it. He gave everything he had on that field day in and day out. And I like watching his fishing stuff too. So that's positive.
I think the worst thing that happened to Cash Daniel was having Josh Allen leave.
What do you mean?
I mean, when you got a guy like that on the line, he's gobbling everything up. You lose that guy, you get a lot more stuff going to that second level.
Yeah, makes sense.
And to clean it up, I think that, and obviously it's my opinion. I don't know. But
no, that's a valid point. I mean, and let's be honest too, the guys behind him, Square and Oates, those guys are probably playing the NFL. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. So it's not like he just was getting beat by some scrubs.
Right.
He had some guys that could play behind him.
Absolutely.
Where's Jacksonville going here, Damon, you think?
Honestly, I don't know. I've got my little mock draft here. And I have a defensive lineman, Derek Brown, which is already gone, obviously.
Yeah, I think they'll still go defense here. They just traded one of their guys a few weeks ago. So they need a lot of help in Jacksonville. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's a win for the Bengals this year.
They might get the kid from Florida, the corner.
Maybe, yeah. C.J. Henderson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. I had him going to the boys, but
the boys, C.J. Henderson.
Yeah, that's what I had him going to, yeah.
Yeah, I had a source, last-minute source there, text. Tell me that's what way they was leaning.
Josh Allen done linked up with you, huh?
Scott's take, he actually texted me.
By golly, he got it. He was right on.
In a hot take there.
That's why I got Cleveland doing.
I don't know. He was wanting to go he's wanting to give us a little call in tonight, but he had a little man, so he said it's just them two at the house. So they're going to see if they can tear it down.
Well, I mean, that baby, we get that baby talk to us too. I mean, it sounds like to me he's got some inside sources down there in Deville.
Jacksonville scares me in the AFC South.
Damon, you sent me that, or I seen on social media about they're going to possibly look at instituting the transfer rule where you can transfer one time.
Yeah, with no penalty of setting out. That's one time this coming up season.
Is that any sport or just basketball, or is that any sport? Do you know?
I'm assuming it's for basketball.
Okay.
The guy that tweeted it out is a basketball guy, but I don't know. Honestly, I didn't read the whole article.
That becomes a Wild West at that point, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a carousel at that point. I mean, anybody that's got a dad that's involved or is mad about playing time, they're bailing.
Yeah. a lot of like Billy Donovan and some other coaches, I think even Michigan's coach, one of the reasons that they get frustrated with the NBA or with the NBA is just like, sometimes roster turnover and stuff like that. But I mean, basically, we're doing the NBA or college basketball will be going to free agency at that point. I mean, that's just
Exactly.
fun.
Yeah.
You imagine the tampering that could go on with that? Like, I just see that being an issue.
Yeah, I mean, it could actually benefit UK this year, but I still think it's a terrible, terrible idea.
No, I think Kentucky. That's good for Kentucky. Cal's probably loving that. And I think he's even said as much that. I mean, he's glad he's at Kentucky, but I would hate to be one of these, programs, mid-majors or at a school like Dayton. Well, maybe not Dayton's not a good example, but some smaller schools that have some players, well, I'll tell you what, they're going to get poached pretty hard.
Yeah.
Damien, do you still have your quarterbacks that are better than Dak on you handy?
I've got it here handy, yes, sir.
Okay. So we can get that.
What was the official number you've always tried to say?
I said he wasn't top. I said I didn't have him in top 15.
And I said he was. Okay, let's.
Correct. Now this is my list. This is not in any certain order. This is just the list I made up today while I was being essential at work.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 1, Tom Brady.
Okay.
Drew Brees.
2,
Patrick Mahomes.
3,
Aaron Rodgers.
4,
Deshaun Watson.
5,
Russell Wilson.
6,
Big Ben.
7,
Lamar Jackson.
8,
Matt Ryan.
9.
Objection. Next. That's one objection.
Matt Ryan has better stats.
Matt
Ryan has won a playoff game. He's been to the Super Bowl.
He's got Julio Jones, too.
And you're going to hold that against him? It's not his fault.
Keep going.
Okay. Even if you take them off, Dak's still 17. Let's see. Jimmy Garoppolo.
And
All the guy does is win. Carson Wentz.
11.
Stop. Carson Wentz?
Hold up for a second. Did y'all just see the Browns pick?
No.
Jedrick Willis.
This kid grew up 1 mile from the University of Kentucky.
Oh, Ty.
1 mile. Let's just keep that in your mind. 1 mile. And what comes a day that we get these players?
It's coming.
Now listen, he was there. I mean, we saw him at the game. He was there almost every game. He knew what he was doing. I mean, you can't really.
You can't fault a kid. It's like in basketball. I mean, I know you guys don't want to hear it, but we are a basketball school. You cannot fault a kid from leaving Alabama to come to UK to play basketball. DeMarcus Cousins, did he make a wise choice by coming to Kentucky?
Yeah.
Same thing. I mean, I would never bash a kid for leaving Michigan to go to Alabama or Auburn.
What high school did he go to?
Excuse me?
What high school did
Lafayette.
Him and Landon Young were offensive linemen together, if I'm not mistaken, in high school.
Yeah, and Walker was quarterback.
Yeah.
Damien, would you bash a kid for leaving Michigan football to come to Kentucky football?
I don't believe in punching down, so I mean I don't know. It's not a bash. I'm just saying, tradition-wise.
Yeah, you're right. Tradition-wise,
it just depends on the need, the kid's desires. I mean, the SEC draw is a huge thing. It's obvious. Morrow has absolutely crushed it in Ohio as well as Michigan. Because basically, one of their pitches is going to be, "We are the SEC." Kids want to play against the best. I get that. But, I mean, if you're a wide receiver, I'm not leaving the state of Michigan to go to Kentucky.
The last 3 years, how many bowl games has Michigan won?
Last 3 years? 1.
How many has Kentucky won?
2, I think.
Yeah, there you go. No, I get it. I mean, yes. Historically speaking, I would be just no credibility if I didn't say that Michigan's got the better program. Now, that is also admitting that they should have the better program because of their history. I'd be like, like you said, using the Alabama in basketball against Kentucky in basketball. It is the same. And I don't blame the kid. Here's what I do blame the kid about. Not blaming, but I'm just saying what is a bad look, I think. He knew the whole time he was going to Alabama. Why would your hometown school, unless he was just there to help recruit for them, you know what I'm saying, people that couldn't make it to Alabama, maybe he was doing that, I don't know, in the background. But I thought it was the same thing with the running back that went to Alabama.
Damian Harris.
Yeah, same thing with him. He sit there and if you believe that during his commitment thing he didn't know which hat he was going to pick up, come on.
Didn't Damian say it like right before he changed his mind?
Yeah.
That's fine to say, but
I didn't want to get us off track here. I just want to talk about bring it up real quick.
It's a good point. I mean, last few years, Kentucky's been having some, the Virginia Tech in the bowl game we just played. Their starting center was from Scott County, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, I agree, like Alabama's Alabama, Georgia's Georgia, Clemson's Clemson, LSU, Michigan, Ohio State. Those schools,
traditional powerhouses.
Kentucky, I don't care if you grew up, I don't care if you slept on Kroger Field. Like, you got to do what you got to do.
I'm on board with that. What I'm saying is have enough respect for your home state to be upfront and honest. After you pretty much said you're going to Alabama, why do you continue to show up on the field at Commonwealth?
All right, Chris. I that's a valid point. I get it. I'm not disagreeing necessarily, but these are 17, 18-year-old kids in high school. If you're a 17-year-old All-American football player, taking a weekend to University of Kentucky on campus is not the worst weekend you're going to spend.
No, I'm not. But these also guys are 3 years, like Jadarick Wills, he's now a millionaire. Like, there's still got to be somebody, okay, maybe not him, but some adult has got to be like, look, outside looking in, look what, you're kind of tagging these guys along. And I'm not faulting the kid. He might have told Coach Stoops from the get-go, hey, look, I'll hang around, do whatever, but I'm not coming here. I mean, we don't know what the whole story is.
But if you're Mark Stoops, why does that bother you, though? Like, why would it bother Mark Stoops to know he has a 5-star kid who's committed to Alabama on his campus visiting? Even though he might not get the kid, I mean, that's still a publicity thing. That's still going to be in the Herald. That's still going to get reported on. Verbal Alabama commit at Commonwealth Stadium this weekend. Watching,
and that's a valid point. I'm just saying, and it may have been that way. I'm just saying, when you're looking at a program like Kentucky that is up and coming, we got to take some flyers, and you only got so much bandwidth as a coach. You know what I'm saying? So my concern was, and it may have been not true at all, you're spending a lot of bandwidth on a guy that never intended to even sniff you. That's the only thing I'm trying to say.
So
I agree with y'all said there. As far as going to Alabama, yeah, I can't really say I agree. I agree and everything, but what I don't get is if you're good, you're good. If you're starting center for Morehead State and you're starting center for Kentucky, if you're good, you're good. People's going to know. I mean, that's just the way I feel about it because, Josh Allen, perfect example, how good he was. You know what I'm saying? Look where he's at. You know what I mean?
Look, it's going to be interesting to see. You got Josh Allen, and now you got a one-time transfer rule implemented in the NCAA. You're going into your senior year, and you could transfer from Kentucky and be a starter there. Or Nick Saban says, we need a pass rusher. Come on down. Could you blame the kid for that?
Not really, I don't guess. I mean, but is Nick Saban going to help him move up 6 spots in the draft?
He could.
He's not hurting any kid. I mean, no kid has gotten hurt by going to Alabama. I mean, you got Jadarick Wills, Damian Harris, both kids that snubbed, you might say, Kentucky go to Alabama. They both played a national championship game. They both got drafted. Yeah. I mean, how do you fault that?
Oh, you can't fault it, but
Well,
all.
I
But
do agree with you, Todd. In sport like NFL and baseball, I think are real similar in the aspect of you could play Kentucky Wesleyan. I think Jacksonville this past season they had a Kentucky Wesleyan wide receiver. His name slipped me. But, you can play anywhere. You're gonna get noticed. But if I'm playing in Kentucky and I got Nick Saban calling and say, "Hey, I need you to come throw some passes for me," even as a backup, maybe probably take it just for the
Right.
exposure, the experience.
I mean,
Go ahead, Daniel.
first round draft picks, a lot of money difference there. Look at the first 10 picks. There's no small schools in there.
Mm-hmm.
I know Josh Allen was elite, super guy, diehard UK guy now. I get that he's going to be a lifelong UK guy. But you're getting drafted in the top 10 in the SEC. Kentucky, I agree. I would love for the Kentucky kids to stay at school, stay in Kentucky. I would like to see UK basketball sign a UK kid every year. At least you've got a 4-year kid that has heart. I mean, but you're not going to fault the kid for turning down any of the top 5 schools. I just don't think.
No, when you're tying this transfer rule to Kentucky football, it'll hurt, I think. Now, there could also be a time where we could benefit from it. You could see, let's say for an example, that we knew, Terry Wilson is not playing no more, and you got a Mac Jones. I'm just using an example. He was a previous commit of ours. You have Mac Jones at Alabama that now he's got recruited over again. So now, one-time transfer, he transfers back to – I mean, so you could see in some instances where it'll help, in some instances it'll hurt. What you got to hope for is that you've recruited, you developed them, and there's some loyalty there. And then you got to be very careful about making sure that if a kid does leave, you can't be bashing because that's a bad look too. So it's gonna change the landscape a lot. I mean, it'll fluctuate. Some years it'll help us out, some years it won't. I'm just hoping that the kids that we bring in, recruit, and develop, it doesn't sway them so much that our core is gone.
I don't know. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. Mekhi Becton. Did you see the video in his house right there?
No.
He was literally his legs were shaking. He was crying, and he got drafted. And he started hugging his mom and stuff. That's cool. He's a little guy. It's nice to see that. See, and that's what matters right there. You're seeing kids' lives change. You're seeing it could all pan out. Like his grandchildren, their lives could be changed by this greatly. And then we got people on social media bashing first-round draft picks and couches. So.
That Becton's a big guy, isn't he?
He's a hoss. See him playing basketball down the post.
6'7", 364. Son, he's a heck of a post player. Looks like Chris back in his day, just a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I was Rex Fatman back in the day, and I still think that's a good name for me. I've been doing some shooting in local neighborhoods, and 8, 9 for 10 from the free throw line. I mean, that's a given.
What'd you run the 40 in, Chris?
It depended on the wind. We did have high winds, or depending on the surface. My hamstrings at times would give in, but I was on the calendar, not on the clock.
On the calendar, that's right.
Who's the Raiders going to pick here? Michael Jordan?
Wide receiver. Here's Jerry Jeudy.
Or Henry Ruggs. One of the two.
Oh,
I know Jerry Jeudy. He got wore out playing against Michigan in the bowl game. But never did catch the kid.
He's the best route runner in the draft.
Yeah. And like you said last time we were here, once he catches the ball, you're not running him down. Once he gets by you, he's gone.
CeeDee Lamb, honestly, CeeDee Lamb and Ruggs probably the best once they get the ball, making a move. But as far as getting in position, Jerry Jeudy, he's there before you think about it.
Who you guys think they pick here?
Judy
or Ruggs.
Is it safe to say they choose a wide receiver from Alabama?
Yeah. I don't think it's CeeDee Lamb.
Or CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma is still there.
Yeah, he's tough too.
He is tough.
Speaking of Oklahoma, our intern had a hot take. about their quarterback?
Honey, our intern thinks Jalen Hurts should get drafted top 30. When do you think Jalen Hurts should get drafted? She thinks second round. Jalen Hurts in the second round. Can we take that over under?
You
I'm
probably.
all for it.
I think he'll get drafted. I think he'll get drafted. He's a leader.
There's about a chance of him getting drafted in the first 5 rounds, as John Gruden called me on the phone right now.
I didn't say it'd be first 5 rounds. I said he'll get drafted.
Boys,
I'm not disagreeing with the intern. I'm all for it.
I think he goes third round, late.
Is he a steal?
Could be.
He
Absolutely.
could be a steal in the 5th or 6th round. He's not getting drafted in the 3rd round.
I got a hot take. I don't think Justin Herbert's good. I don't think he's number 6 overall draft pick good, quarterback wise.
It's all about team needs, I guess. But, yeah, I totally agree with that.
I think he's overrated.
I mean,
You
the
think
Chargers have weapons. I think the Chargers have plenty of weapons. They just – Phillip Rivers couldn't throw it to the right team last year. I don't know that Herbert's taking them anywhere. I mean, does he sit behind Tyrod Taylor this year and try to learn? Possibly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tyrod Taylor, he's shown that he can keep the ship afloat. He's not a franchise guy, but he can play for him.
Henry Ruggs.
Jeez, I'm surprised about that.
Told you.
I nailed that one last night.
You did last night. You're right, Ty.
Yes, yeah.
Y'all should see the stadium they're building down in Las Vegas. It's nice. Big.
You think John's knocking his ring on his desk right now?
John here.
Gruden. You didn't see from
John Summerall.
John Summerall's a good recruiter. He'll be a defensive coordinator here pretty soon somewhere.
Did he not watch that?
John Gruden was knocking his ring.
Yeah. He had what was the saying he say? You with me? You with me, guys? Yeah.
The coach.
He's what?
So what we got here? A trade, I guess,
This was already happened before, I think, from
Indiana.
Oh, yeah. Niners.
Are we
Yeah.
going? Do you go Judy here and just give Garoppolo like every receiver?
You're gonna see. I like to see Judy right here, and then Tom Brady get CeeDee Lamb.
I'm still waiting for the Patriots to trade up for a quarterback.
Now listen, I said that was one of my
Robert
flyers.
E. Lee High School is getting some exposure right here.
Who?
Robert E. Lee High School, Montgomery, Alabama.
What is this?
What?
We good?
Did I lose you guys?
We got
I said, what is this? I thought we was under attack.
My bad. I was watching TV. I apologize.
You watching Rugrats or something?
No, I'm watching the draft. I guess. Are you guys watching it on something different than I am? Apparently.
on ESPN.
I mean,
Okay,
is it
I'm on
news?
ABC.
Did like somebody get traded or?
No. It was just it was something special. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Nothing. It was just. I mean, Henry Ruggs is decked out in a bathrobe.
I like it. I like it.
I mean, after you just bashed the guy over his drapes, I wanted to keep my mouth shut, Chris. I apologize.
What is that?
Yeah.
I just assumed we were all watching the same feed. My bad, guys.
They're still running track, playing basketball. Robert E. Lee. We played them. I was in high school. No, he is in a road. So that's what I was talking about. I respect that.
Yeah.
It's his house.
He's on
getting drafted.
ESPN.
He's making millions. He can wear what he wants.
Who you think right here? Another Alabama guy or the?
Oh, there he is, Chris.
Who do you think?
The Niners.
Jerry Judy. He'd be the next one off the board.
Has to be.
I think Mr. Jefferson from LSU is going to go to the 14th to Tampa Bay.
No, sir. He's falling. He's going to the Bengals. First pick, second round.
Really?
It's a good take.
That's
a
my
real
hope.
good pick. I hope you're right.
I think there's a shot.
You care to text Coach Taylor and see what he says?
He's got plenty of time. He ain't game planning for no more than 2 or 3 wins, so he's got time to take all your texts you want.
Chris, call Freddie right now and ask him what he thinks draft's going to look like next year for Kentucky guys.
All jokes aside, I tell you what, next year we'll have probably 8 to 10 people drafted.
Could you name them?
Pretty much everybody on the defense. The biggest one will be the Darren Kennard. Darren Kennard will probably be first or second rounder.
Okay.
He'll leave early. He'll go. Landon will get drafted probably later rounds, 5th or 6th round. There's 2. Terry will probably get drafted 6th or 7th round. No. You got Quentin Bohanna on the defensive line. He'll get drafted.
He might if he quits holding people.
Quentin Bohanna will get drafted. We probably got 5 or 6. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. I have to do some research.
I'm glad we went from 10 to 5 or 6. At least we got a little dose of reality in there. That's solid.
We're not as good as Michigan to have 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10 people get drafted and still only have the same amount of wins. I'm sorry.
Boys, I hope this boy's better at catching the football than he is putting on his hat. And he's been 20 minutes trying to put his hat on.
Man, I'm not going to lie. Everybody can pull off a hat like Chris. So, I mean, I would struggle a little bit.
You're right.
You give me a flat bill, and it's a disaster.
Is Adam Schefter a Michigan guy?
Excuse me?
Adam Schefter a Michigan guy?
Yeah, graduated yet.
Good for him.
Most of your top journalists are from either Michigan or Syracuse, honestly.
What about Booger McFarland sliding on here tonight?
You'll get laughed off the stage.
The National Football League. We've had another trade, boys.
Quarterback.
Damon's about to get some weapons.
Here's Love.
What are they doing?
Well, it's about time somebody
Tampa Bay's about to be hot.
Lynn Bowden, it's about somebody got some respect for that man.
Or Tom Brady hand-selected Lynn. Need a new slot.
What do you think Tampa Bay's going to do right here?
They don't really need receivers.
So they just moved one spot? I don't understand that.
I mean, I don't know. They've got plenty of weapons. Line maybe, but they need a running back. But you're not taking a running back in the top 15.
No.
So they just did a flip-flop with San Fran?
Yeah.
What about Xavier McKinney, the safety? Is he any good?
I don't have no notes on him.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I mean, Tampa Bay could possibly trade up for a center. Number 1 center in the draft is from Michigan. Just throwing it out there. Could be a little Michigan connection with Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Picks in.
Tristan Wirfs from Iowa, offensive tackle.
It'd be, you can't tell me that Tom Brady ain't got some type of say in what's going on right here.
Yeah, I bet Tom Brady's making these picks.
Absolutely he is.
Absolutely.
He's probably earned that, though.
Yeah, would you tell him no if you were a coach?
No, not if you said, look, I'm going to become a free agent. I'm going there, but you're going to let me have some say in personnel. No,
Tom Brady walked into the wrong house trying to find his OC the other day.
Yeah.
See that?
I've seen that.
Who's going to be? Is Jameis? Did they ship Jameis? He's not even going to be the backup, right? They just they released him, didn't they?
Yeah, Jameis thought it was like a thing of endearment that only Tom Brady could replace him. How smart he is.
30-30, man.
Well, I mean,
I want to see his pick. Come on now.
I mean, they don't need a wide receiver. They got the best wide receiver in the NFL.
They just got somebody.
I'm going to say offensive line. They got to keep Brady upright. He ain't scrambling from here to the kitchen to counter.
I'm going out on boys. Saying Josh Jones from Houston, offensive lineman.
Josh Jones.
That's good.
It could be a little scoop for you guys.
That's the scoop.
Logan Stenberg, maybe.
Logan would be a good fit. He's got the hair. He's got the cowboy boots. He's from Alabama.
Guarantee you a holding on a 2nd and 18.
Yeah, when he does get drafted, they'll probably throw a flag on him.
So is it the offensive lineman from Iowa? Is who they took?
They had that one guy. They're showing that guy from Iowa, and then
Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Tampa Bay's got the troops on here. They're really got a campaign going, don't they?
Is the pick in?
Pick's in. They haven't released it.
Shoot,
No,
that's
they're Tristan Wirfs. Yep.
Okay.
Don't like your scoot, Ty.
Bad info there, man.
Yeah, it happens.
He missed
Matt
one
Harms.
ball.
Yeah, we had somebody go on a limb on Matt Harms too. We're going to end up with.
I was a little bit too heavy. I was kind of way a little bit too much for that limb. I won't be doing that anytime soon again.
Well, it happens. This kid's changed their mind. There's no doubt that there was some validity to what was initially said, but I don't know.
Are we all in agreement that at like 11 p.m. one night during basketball season we can do a live Zoom watch party of Matt Harms? Game won't be on until about midnight. We all want to do that?
That's when he'll be playing.
We'll break.
Let's do it when they play Gonzaga and they lose by 30.
Yeah. See a tackle, left or right type? You know.
I think he's a right tackle, but
He was right at Iowa, yeah.
Does he project on the inside though in the NFL? I don't really know.
He ran a 4.85.
That's moving pretty good.
Fastest O-lineman in the combine.
Yeah, Giselle might have made that pick. She don't want her man to beat up.
Patriots don't have a quarterback. She didn't like Belichick and Brady's relationship. Did you see where he skipped OTAs because she said he wasn't spending enough time in the house washing dishes, vacuuming, and being a good husband?
I mean, do we not all understand where that?
Yeah, but I feel like if I had Tom Brady money, it could sway my wife and letting it go that I'm not being as attentive at home.
Yeah, but Tom Brady does not have Giselle money either.
Well,
she's worth much more than he is, unfortunately.
Wouldn't that be rough to be Tom Brady and then still not be able to one up anybody that you live with? Still not be the best in the household?
That would suck.
I live that life now, and I'm not a millionaire.
Giselle's a shero, though.
Right.
That's a new word I've been learning at 5 o'clock.
I think that's important to identify what kind of hero we're talking about.
Yeah. So Jerry Judy here, Judy.
Jerry Judy going to go ahead and plug in with Jimmy G. It'd be pretty good for him, wouldn't it? A good guy throwing you the ball.
You speak of New England's quarterbacks over the last few years. Do you have to be a model to be a quarterback there? Be Jimmy G.
Very attractive quarterbacks coming out of that quarterback room.
Yeah, Jimmy G. You got Tom. It's just
Do you think now there's any regret by New England that they didn't let Tom Brady go sooner when they still had Jimmy G?
What's it?
You don't think? I think we're going to ride that horse till it broke.
We'll see how the next 3 to 5 years go, because that's how long Jimmy G's been gone, right?
Yeah.
3 years.
3.
Yeah. Ain't no Michigan guys come off the clock yet, or come off the board.
There will be one tonight, just one, then one early tomorrow. Cesar Ruiz. He'll be possibly 18th pick of Miami Dolphins.
Where's he? What's his position again?
He's center.
Center.
Yeah.
Hope he goes to the Cowboys.
He would have to snap the ball to, Kyle.
Do what?
He wouldn't have no one to snap the ball to.
Nice.
Jordan Love. They could trade up for Jordan Love.
The good thing about the Cowboys, even though we got a new head coach, our offense coordinator stayed the same. If something happens that goes elsewhere, we can just plug in our offense coordinator. He's like the Pete Rose of football. Kellen Winslow, he can have his Boise State days come back. He's good to go. I think you all are. I just don't. I think you're all way off on the Dak stuff. I know we stopped, but Matt Ryan, that's a wash maybe. Then I think didn't you have Tannehill in front of him?
I'm just going by recent history. I mean,
Yeah,
like I said, it's totally an opinion. I'm not saying he's like stat-wise maybe, but last year Tannehill was solid. I mean,
What was Tannehill stats last year?
What was
2
his
playoff
stats?
games.
Huh?
What was his stats?
Yeah.
A trip to the AFC Championship. I mean, you know.
All right, Chris. Josh Allen for Buffalo.
Yeah.
So do you think?
I'm just asking your opinion.
No, he's not as good as Dak.
Oh my gosh.
Based on just your, based on what?
Here's what y'all not adding in, not only to the play on the field. I'm telling you, and y'all can believe it or not, there's another added pressure being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Apparently, he wants $40 million a year.
Yeah, exactly.
He ain't getting 40 million anywhere he goes.
Go ahead.
If Joe Burrow, if you wouldn't have had the first pick, if y'all had been like a top 10 pick in Cincinnati and you couldn't got a quarterback, y'all had traded for Dak Prescott in the New York Minute.
Well, a team that just won 2 games, yeah, I mean, obviously without a quarterback, I mean, they're moving away from Andy Dalton. It would definitely be an upgrade from Andy Dalton.
Well, I thought you had Andy Dalton at 12 or something.
No. I didn't – Andy Dalton didn't make my list, unfortunately. But Josh Allen had better stats than your boy Dak last year.
Josh Allen played in it, yes, and also, you know, our offense was a little bit putrid in some cases.
Right, but, I mean, Buffalo – you have to say Dallas has more weapons than Buffalo.
I don't know. Buffalo put it all over us this year, too, by the way.
Yeah,
Where'd y'all
at
finish?
Dallas.
Huh?
Where'd y'all finish?
What was he? He was 10-6, I think.
Who was ahead of you in the East?
Philly?
Was it Philly, Dallas, Redskins, Giants?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That division overall is not very good, honestly, is it?
So we all going to try to get together and go watch the Bengals and the Cowboys?
Absolutely. But can we all agree? I don't know how you said divisions week. 2 years ago they had the Super Bowl champions.
A lot of turnover after 2 years.
Without Carson Wentz, who y'all said is a better quarterback. He's only played like one year out of the last 3.
Okay, so next than Dak too.
Chris, I will agree with you on that part about what you said about the pressure. I mean, I feel like if you go to the Cowboys, there's so much pressure on you.
That's right.
I mean, I don't know why, but that's just what everybody.
The thing that's odd about Dallas is they've thrown money out to everybody other than Dak.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, I mean, I think they overpaid for. I mean, they had to have Cooper, but I think they paid a little high for him. But you know, he's going to help out a lot. I think they're in flux with the tight end position. I think, and you know, I'm surprised they let Randall go. To be honest, let him walk. I'm surprised about that. But they got some holes they got to fill on defense. That's a thing too. And then, you know, we lost Frederick, I think is his name, from the offensive line. He retired suddenly. So it's gonna be could be a little rebuild.
Do you think they overpaid for Zeke?
No. He's probably the best running back in the NFL.
No, Cuff.
I think Braxton.
No, he's not. That's not even a funny joke. It's not even close.
So, what y'all gonna say? He's top 10?
The best two running backs,
Me-
I think, would be Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. Do we agree on those two at the top?
Yeah, I agree with Henry. That's for sure.
Javon Kinlaw.
South
Javon
Carolina.
Kinlaw.
Javon.
That kind of shocks me. I figured they get a wide receiver there.
He committed to USC, wasn't academically qualified, went the JUCO route, and got back to USC. Was an All-American. He's from Charleston.
Saquon Barkley.
Chris, is the Cowboys, do they need any receivers?
Yeah, we just actually released another wide receiver, I think, 2 days ago. Yeah, we need a lot of offense, but we gotta get defense first. We gotta get, because I mean we're going to be run heavy with the best running back in the NFL, so we're going to be run heavy.
I'll tell you what, we're gonna do this. This podcast is gonna run through the 17th pick, so we can get some Dallas takes.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine. I mean, I'm still waiting on. I was told tonight we were going to hear a reason, because I don't know if the fans know why. Although our Mr. Jones is a Kentucky lover, they're not number one in the fall. So that's what I'm waiting on.
Should we wait closer to football season?
I mean, the next season to come up is football, isn't it?
Potentially. Baseball, maybe.
No, baseball's a wrap.
No, baseball's happening. They're playing it in South Korea right now with no fans. They're doing their preseason right now with no fans. They're projected to have fans by the time the regular season starts in 2 weeks or so, hopefully.
I was talking about college baseball, but you're right. South Korea is starting that, yeah.
So baseball can be played. And, outside of October, do we think baseball fans had that much of an impact on the game?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
That opening weekend is big.
And your occasional bottom of the 10th on a night game, it's 9:30 at night under the lights on a Saturday, Friday night, that. But I don't think – I mean, baseball's a in-your-head one-on-one game, in my opinion.
I mean, honestly, how many fans is at a baseball game, 7 o'clock pitch?
Unless it's Friday or Saturday night, there are usually not that many fans.
I mean, during the week, how many would you say?
Like a 1 p.m. first pitch on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
But, for me, though, I got to be honest with you. There's not – I mean, I know I'm a little more hypersensitive, but I just think, yeah, I understand what you're saying, what y'all saying about from the player perspective. Baseball fans is not going to get you more hype. Well, it may a little bit, but it's not as impactful. But, from the fans' perspective, and there's nothing like a nice hot dog and a peanuts on a Friday night, Saturday night, though. That's
yeah. My point is, I don't think there's a better sport than baseball to ease us back in to sports after this whole Corona thing. I think it's a good sport to do it with.
No, I agree, and I think they'll use kind of some lessons learned from South Korea. I know they talked about in South Korea having like the umpires wear masks, and then I guess some of the people that are filming will be in the seats where the fans are supposed to sit. So it's going to be kind of, but yeah, I think it's a good break from everything.
Baseball.
Because I think they play a 144 game season over there, and they said they're getting every game in. So
Really?
Yeah.
Every game.
I like to see us at least get a 90-game season.
Yeah, me too, Braxton. Absolutely.
72.
I'm ready to watch the Reds, aren't you, Damien?
Absolutely. This is the Red Legs' year. Not saying World Series, very winnable division.
Coming second in NL Central.
Excuse me?
Coming second in NL Central, probably.
Possibly. Maybe a wild card, but the division's winnable. I mean, there's not a great team in the division.
Not like the East, that's for sure.
East is stacked. We're crazy.
I'm at the American League East.
No. You know I was talking about the National League East. I mean
every team has bad. Every division has bad teams. And every division has decent teams.
NL East has one bad team.
who was the world champions last year?
Good.
Huh?
Washington.
What division they in?
See, that's where you and I differ. I'm not a conference guy. I'm not a division guy.
No.
In order
Congratulations that the Braves got beat by the best team. I mean, is that a consolation prize? What is that?
the Braves still at number 5 in the power rankings. So like across baseball, we're a top 5 team, but we're losing 2 teams in the NL East because we got Washington, us up there, and you drop all the way down to Miami.
The Mets are not good.
Yeah,
Philadelphia overspends. It never works out.
but they got a good squad this year.
Philadelphia can be good, and they're good to beat you 2 out of 3 on a series.
I'm telling you, I think the Braves go to the World Series last year if Mike Fultonwitz wouldn't have had spasms there. I remember
Folty couldn't strike me out if his life depended on it.
he throws gas, but
If his life depended on it and there was any pressure, and I said, Folty, you got to throw 3 fastballs right here to strike me out. Couldn't do it.
me and my wife stayed up in Belgium at like 0-2 to watch that game, and 13 runs later in the first inning, we finally went to bed. I think that's what they scored. Was it 12, 13 runs? First or second inning?
What is this I'm seeing? Jerry Judy has a newborn baby and a newborn sister.
So who eliminated the Braves last year in the playoffs?
It was the Nationals, I believe.
It wasn't St. Louis?
No, it was St. Louis.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry. You're correct.
What division St. Louis come from?
Okay.
I'm just asking questions.
I thought you weren't a division person.
I'm not.
You just use it as an argument.
It wasn't the Reds who beat us.
It's coming.
Look, he's paused. He can see. That's what he does. He's paused on us now.
He gets paused on it.
Big Blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Blue.
Well, we were having some Wi-Fi issues. Apologize about that. Denver's got Jerry Judy.
Denver got Jerry Judy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good pick.
How many Bama guys is that?
Is that 4?
Jerry Judy, Ruggs, Wills,
And 2.
and 2.
Yeah.
So through 15 picks, they had 4 of them. Decently impressive.
That's very impressive. Of course. I mean, comparing sports, if Cal has 4 top 15 draft picks and doesn't win a national title or go to a Final Four, he's blasted. But
Nick Saban
doesn't have the same luxury, I guess.
You're also looking at the percent number of players. You're also looking at a 10-player squad versus a 100 and some man squad.
11 players.
Yeah.
You mean? Oh, my bad. I apologize.
So you're defending Saban over Cal?
I'm saying Saban's got a harder job than Cal.
Disagree.
Ain't no way.
Completely disagree.
Well, I don't
Not
know.
a harder. Go ahead, Chris. I'll let you.
Nick Saban prepares with the playoff, 14 games? Is that total? 13, 14 games, wherever it is. That's it. You get a whole week to prepare for the game. But Cal has to play 3 games a week and then go into a tournament where it's win or lose. You're done.
Here's what I'm telling you. As far as being XOs, trying to get everybody in the right way, it's a lot easier to do it with basketball because you're looking at one-on-one. with somebody in basketball that just is a lot better. It's a lot different in football. It just is.
You have a lot more help in football. You literally have an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator. Then you get it broken down by position. You got a running backs coach. You got a line coach. So if you're a successful coach, you can disseminate information and say, this is what I want, this is my intent, make it happen. Then you have the oversight on the sideline. How is that harder?
I'm just saying for you to have a collaborative effort, there's still a lot more goes into it as far as offense, defense, special teams, all that stuff. The collaboration is a lot more difficult on the football level than it is basketball.
You get a whole week to prepare for it, and you don't, especially in March Madness when it counts.
That's just the difference between a basketball guy and a football guy. I mean, I'm not saying either one of us are wrong. I mean, we can disagree. I mean, we're good to disagree on that.
Yeah, we can disagree. I'm just saying you also like I don't know. I think that Nick Saban too. Nick Saban's more valuable than Cal.
Okay, possibly who's more valuable, Coach K or Nick Saban?
I'm going to say Nick Saban.
I'm going to guess I could say Red Auerbach, and you're going to say Nick Saban.
No,
but that's okay.
No, what I'm telling you is now, Coach K, the only thing Coach K's got a lot of influence overall is like because he did Team USA and stuff like that. I think Coach K is the most valuable basketball coach in NBA, anything. Coach K is the number one. And I think if you're looking at football across the board, then it's Nick Saban. And then in my opinion, football is a collaboration. There's a lot more to prepare for and to make sure people are doing the right stuff than it is in basketball.
So what you're saying by that statement is Nick Saban is more valuable and a better football mind than Bill Belichick.
Maybe not overall, but I think when you look at what he's done at at the collegiate level, maybe there's a wash between him and Belichick. I can probably grant you that. Maybe Belichick's a little bit more, but Belichick also was horrible in Cleveland, right?
And Nick was horrible at Michigan State.
Yeah, Saban's not. I mean, he's won national titles with two of the elite programs.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I get. Yeah, you're right.
But anyway,
I think being a college basketball coach is harder than a football coach.
Just by
and what you're preparing for, I think it's a lot faster paced, and that can add up.
When you're looking at recruiting, it's a lot harder to gauge talent and get elite like understanding how each player is going to work out at the football level than it is basketball.
Who do you think is the most valuable coach on Kentucky football, Chris?
Most valuable coach?
Yeah.
Mark Stoops.
You think he's the key to the program?
I think you said Vince Marrow 2 podcasts ago.
Well, we can all change our mind, right? Here's why I say I changed my mind on that.
AJ Terrell goes to Atlanta. I wanted him to go to
who did?
AJ Terrell.
AJ Terrell.
I wanted him.
Because now, as far as getting the players in, obviously I think Vince Marrow is here, but also, I think Mark Stoops is the straw that stirs the drink. I mean, he makes it all work. Without him, Vince Marrow, he's not going to be a head coach at a big school so far. I mean, they're probably on about the same level. I don't want to lose either one of them.
I just feel like the reason I think being a college basketball coach is more difficult is because I think it being more centralized at the basketball level as far as one-on-one, that's harder than having all these coordinators and position coaches. You have less players, but you have a shorter staff, and it's more all on you. It's more pressure.
But you look at Kentucky's bench, they got, three – let's see, is it 2 assistants that can coach and then 1 that can't or something like that?
They're in practice. They can't say anything.
Yeah. So it's basically, when you're looking at the big scheme, you got 3 coaches to, take care of 10 people. I don't know.
But I mean, neither here nor there. But Nick Saban, he loses a running back. He's replacing him with a running back. It's an All-American. When he goes down, he replaces him with an All-American.
That's
it's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
How's that his fault though?
It's not. But I mean, Coach Cal can't fill out a roster. Coach Cal just lost 5 starters, and one guy's definitely not getting drafted.
Yeah,
the other 2 are going to be at the end of the second round.
You can't use that as an excuse when he recruits that way.
Do you think he recruited? I mean, are you blaming him for the transfers, though?
I mean, when's the last time somebody from the West Coast stayed 2 years?
The West Coast? Hopefully next year be Askew. Hopefully.
Marcus Lee.
Oh, but he still ended up transferring out.
He still say 2 years ago.
I mean, who'd you say, Braxton?
Marcus Lee.
Yeah, he made a mistake.
Hey, you know what the Bengals and the Cowboys have in common?
Terrible quarterbacks until tonight.
They won a conference championship since 1996.
I think, honestly, Bengals have had more wins since, 2003 than the Cowboys.
You think Mike McCarthy's going to pan out?
Yeah, I do. I think he'll do good.
I think it was a good coach. I mean, if Jerry Jones will stay out of his way and let him run the team somewhat, I think McCarthy's a very good coach.
That's the thing. But will Jerry Jones do that, Chris?
Probably not. No.
I'm telling you, it's a Texas football thing. The Texans, they had a good team. I mean, they weren't Super Bowl good, but you let the head coach become the general manager and get rid of the best wide receiver in football for a washed-up running back that's been injured the last 2 years.
Right.
Maybe the worst NFL trade of all time, honestly.
But I don't think your coach is very well liked either, inside the organization. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, the owner obviously likes him. He made him general manager. But I saw where Deshaun Watson's agent has tweeted out that he would offer that he would be open to some trade offers.
I know a place that would take him.
It would be an upgrade for 90% of the league, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll take him in Dallas.
I think Dallas is getting a wide receiver here. We're getting Justin Jefferson, LSU.
Ain't no way. They got to have defense, Ty. There's no way that's how. This is where the kid from Florida goes right here at 17. Have technical difficulties.
Over here. I'm just looking at Jerry Jones and like Goober on his couch.
I was hoping Jerry Jones would have a mask on.
I don't know why y'all got hate on the man.
I'm not. I mean, dude's a billionaire. Why am I hating on him? I just think he ruined a good product.
He also built up a good product in the late 90s too, though.
And then greed set in, right?
What happens?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if he keeps Jimmy Johnson for 3 more years, we're not talking about the Patriots dynasty. We're talking about Dallas' dynasty.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Then you'll be a Cowboys fan.
I don't do the bandwagon. That's why I can't jump on UK football wagon right now. We've talked about this, sir.
You jumped off the Houston one.
But I didn't. You're right, but I didn't jump on a good team. I went to the Bengals, the team that had the worst record in the league last year.
I mean, we got room. We'll take you in Lexington, but you got to publicly say that Kentucky football is your number 1, Michigan's number 2. That's all you got to do.
I mean, Chris, you and I talked while you were in Belgium. I mean, I changed my Facebook profile to UK football just for you.
But I felt like that was under duress. That's all that was.
It was. I mean, I'm not hiding that. I'm not denying it. But I mean, still pretty decent. I mean,
yeah, that was a step in the right direction. I will give you that.
I've yet to hear a decent reason why you can't have 2 teams that never play each other and cheer for both of them.
So who's your other basketball team in college basketball?
Excuse me?
Who's your second favorite team in college basketball?
Whoever's playing Louisville.
See, that's not. No.
I'm serious. There is no second team.
Tickets in.
For Dallas.
With the 17th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
CeeDee Lamb.
Chris Lewis, cornerback, Montgomery County High School.
I'm a lockdown.
Why are y'all getting a receiver right now?
CeeDee Lamb.
They took CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't be mad about that, though.
Oh, it's a great pick.
I mean, I don't know that it addresses their number one need, but it's a Jerry Jones pick.
They need a cornerback, that's for sure.
Sedarian.
I mean, your offense upgraded.
Yeah.
I mean, you took CeeDee Lamb over Randall Cobb.
Yeah, but I mean, they're two different positions. But I mean, I tell you
Well,
what,
I'm just saying offense in general. I mean,
that's a good punch, though. Amari and CeeDee Lamb.
No one to throw him to, but throw it to him.
no, yeah, I mean,
I don't get what y'all. Why?
who's Dak's backup for real? I don't know the roster.
Can I be honest with you? I don't know right now. I don't even know that we have one. It might be Drew Stanton. Honestly, I don't know.
He's a Michigan State guy. I mean, Big Ten's all right in football.
Yeah, gotta be.
So
Would it be a Cooper Rush, Chris?
What's that?
Would it be a guy by the name of Cooper Rush?
That's it. Yep. That's exactly. I think he played it like somewhere crazy.
Cooper Rush could walk in my living room right now and know who he was.
Chris, can I ask you a question real quick about your Cowboys?
Played in Central Michigan.
Go ahead, Damon.
What do you project the record to be this coming season? Have you looked at their schedule by chance?
I glanced at it yesterday evening. I didn't go line by line. Be like, I still have us at 10-6. What? Didn't like that, Braxton?
No.
I mean, realistically, you should get 5 wins in the division. You split with the Eagles, you sweep the Giants, you sweep the Redskins. That's 5 wins. So, yeah, I mean, looking at it,
Cincinnati, 6.
Yeah, 6 might be a stretch. They don't have an easy schedule. I mean,
we play who's our other out of conference?
The road games out of conference, you go to the Rams, to Minnesota Vikings, which should take a step back. They've had a rough offseason.
Yeah.
At Baltimore, at Cincinnati, and at Seattle.
Well, we win at Cincy. Probably beat Minnesota, and then we hope. All you can hope for is a split between Baltimore and the Rams.
Yeah, Baltimore's tough.
Baltimore's tough, man.
Yeah.
But now your home schedule is favorable. I mean, you've got Cleveland. They should be improved, but last year was pretty disheartening for that fan base. Arizona Cardinals. You're probably not beating the 49ers. You got Pittsburgh. If Ben comes back, could be a good game. And then Mr. Let's see, who is it? Atlanta Falcons. Mr. Matt Ryan comes to town.
Number 18th quarterback. So here's the thing with Cowboys. They kind of are very similar as in Kentucky, like we talked about yesterday. Kentucky would beat Georgia and Auburn and then lose to Mississippi State and Vandy. Dallas is the same way. They'd win at Baltimore and at the Rams and then lose to Cleveland at home.
Right.
That's just the way they do.
Braxton, do you have a prediction for the Titans record this year?
Okay, I think I said 11-5 yesterday. I haven't gone through it line by line. Only glanced at it.
Right. They have a favorable schedule as well.
Yeah, we got pretty much the same roster coming back.
Right.
We got at Baltimore. Yeah, probably lose that. Cincinnati, win. I'll take us at Denver. At Green Bay's a toss-up. I'll take us beating Houston. Take us beating Indy. Take us beating Jacksonville. Don't know about at Minnesota. Take us beating Houston again, Indy. Well, they got a good schedule, actually.
Yeah, their schedule is
a pretty good schedule.
very, very winnable.
Pittsburgh. So, okay, the games that scare me, Pittsburgh. I mean, I feel like you're going to split with Houston. at Green Bay, at Baltimore. If Chicago's quarterback decides he wants to throw to a receiver, maybe against Chicago.
Nick Foles will be starting in Chicago, I would think.
You think he'll start with Trubisky?
No, maybe not beginning of the year, but Trubisky's terrible, man.
No one they don't even like him in Chicago. They don't even like him. Well, boys, it's been a good one. Wrapped up talking about the draft a little bit. This will be going up tomorrow night. Any alibis?
Good shape, buddy.
There we go.
Enjoyed it.
All tuning in, listening to us talk about the draft. We'll be back next time, talk some more UK sports and local to-dos. We appreciate you.